Hello, everybody. Welcome along. It is the Benjamin Bloom Football Show yet again in this ridiculous end to this ridiculous season, in this ridiculous division, in this ridiculous year. We are here once again. We were here last night. We'll be here tomorrow as well. And tonight is West Brom versus Derby. We'll focus in on that in just a couple of minutes, but lots more context given to us last night. Some interesting results coming in that do shape what we're going to say about this. Everybody, please get your predictions in for this one in the comments, and we will go through all of them in due course. Let's go through the form, we'll go through the teams, but moreover, let's go through the context and particularly what happened last night in respects of the championship. So last night, how many games were there? Let's bring up last night's results. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games, and significant in 4 out of the 5 games, I think, in both ends of the table there. Look at the top there. Forest 0, Fulham 1. Fulham just pushing ahead of Forest now in that 4th versus 5th race, and maybe when we talk about West Brom, maybe starting to push towards a possible chase. But looking at today's game, that would need a slip from the Baggies. Brentford, big win from the Bees last night because they didn't have it their own way. They went behind in this one. They've been winning to 0 every game, but back into it in the second half. 2 goals, an 85th minute winner from Ethan Pinnock. They are doing the business. Brentford, 6 wins on the trot. Can they do the perfect 10 for automatic promotion? Can they do it? Luton 1, Barnsley 1 down at the bottom. That big shootout doesn't help either team in my humble opinion, especially given Barnsley's last 3 games. Reading 0, Huddersfield 0. Huddersfield attempting to play out the rest of their season with all 11 of their players in their own half and keep loads of clean sheets. Cardiff 2, Blackburn 3. A crazy goal by Adam Armstrong in that one. But that also opens it up for Derby today as well. Derby, unlikely, but a 3-goal win would put Derby into the playoff positions. A win of any kind puts them level on points with Cardiff City. It's all up for grabs now, in the words of the great Brian Moore. Millwall 0, Borough 0 is happening right now, and I'm assured it is still 0-0. That's the halftime still there. So tonight, our game is West Brom versus Derby. Then later on, Swansea have still got an interest in the playoffs. They go to Birmingham. Hull need to pull themselves away from that bottom 3, they hope. And Bristol City with Dean Holden in temporary charge after the dismissal of Lee Johnson. Wigan, can they start a great escape from -12 on the bottom of the table against On the Beach QPR? And Sheffield Wednesday, Preston, is that an On the Beach league? Can Preston get back into the playoff picture? And Sheffield Wednesday, do they still need a couple of wins to maybe be able to absorb a potential points deduction if they are found guilty of FFP? And I'm not saying they are guilty, as I always say at this point. There's your table at the moment. Let's look at West Brom and Derby now. Let's focus in on them. West Brom, Brentford moved again to within 2 points last night. So you have the situation now where even a West Brom draw and Brentford are within 1 game, and everyone keeps telling me, Ben, look at the goal difference. So Brentford only need to be within striking distance, and they know that if they can draw level by game 46, they will push their way up and above West Brom or Leeds. We'll talk about them tomorrow night, though, Leeds. Derby, great run, wasn't it? 5 wins on the trot. Draw against Forest. Forest should have won that one on the balance of that game. But they're in there, and that Cardiff result gives them some hope. Remember, events at the Den could also unfold against Derby's favour tonight. That game going on as we speak. Right, I'm going to get to your comments. I know there's loads coming in. Thank you. And if you are in the chat, let me just show you a lovely picture of me going like that. Hit the thumbs up button. Please do that. Draw more people, excuse me, into this stream. Let's look at the snapshot. In for goal, 57% chance for West Brom. Betfair, 56% chance. Both of those models predict 20% chance of a derby win. I would just like to say, remember, this is the championship, though, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't always work the way we expect it to. There's West Brom's last 10. If you look there, a nice splurge at the start of that. I'm reading from the bottom upwards. 10 points in 4. And that does include games against Forest and Preston, who would have been in the top 6, although Preston have dripped off. Look there, 2 teams have beaten West Brom in recent times, in the last 7 games, or 6 in fact. Wigan and Brentford did that earlier in the post-lockdown games. But just look at those top 2 games there, 4-2 at Hull, home to Hull rather, and 3-0 at Sheffield Wednesday, with Matheus Pereira starring in both. 7 goals in the last 2 games. Charlie Austin in up the top. West Brom have had a good last 2. Let's have a look at Derby's last 10. Bit Jekyll and Hyde that, isn't it? Look, 2 points in the first 4. I'm reading from the bottom upwards. But then 2 games even before lockdown, the winning run started, and it continued after lockdown with wins at Millwall, and then home to Reading, and then at Preston. So 5 wins on the trot has put Derby in really, really good shape. Didn't look great against Forest, did they? So hopefully, for Derby's sake, that's not any kind of a drop-off. But the potential is definitely there. It looks like Koku has found his 11 to play his system now. Has he found it too late in respect of this season? Right, let's have a look how these 2 teams are going to line up. We'll start with West Brom up the top there. Johnston in goal, standard. Across the back there, not necessarily what I expected there. Townsend, Ajayi, Bartley and O'Shea. Maybe we'd expect Gibbs at left back, maybe Furlong at right back, maybe Higazi in one of those centre-back positions. So it is safe to say that Bilic is moving and shaking with his squad. We'll have a look at the bench and see if those players are fit, rested, or sat on the bench, whatever. Livermore and Sawyers. You don't mess with that, though. Very, very strong double pivot. And look at that. We'll have a good look and see how the 3 off the front line up. You would imagine it would actually be Pereira in the 10 position rather than Diangana. But let's reserve judgment until we actually see how those 3 are set up on the pitch. Either way, Pereira, Diangana and Grzycki, that's tremendous. You've got Grzycki's pace and directness. You've got Diangana's dribbling, and Pereira, you've got the ability to pass the ball on the run whilst beating players. What a good player Matheus Pereira is. Charlie Austin's been in the last 2 games. I like the look of that West Brom team, but is it their first choice back 4 is all I would say. Let's have a look at the Derby team there. Hamer in goal, Bogle, Evans, Clark, Forsyth. That would be low, but he took a knock in the Preston game, I think. But pretty steady in terms of the back 4. Now, here's where the issues lie. Obviously, no Waghorn, no Lawrence, the 2 ex-Ipswich players there, both getting themselves red carded and suspended. So Wayne Rooney moved out of the deep line playmaker spot. You have Graham Shinney and Max Bird in there. Obviously, you take Rooney out of any area on the pitch, it does become weaker, but he may be able to get a little bit further forward. I would suspect he's trusted by Philip Koku to judge it himself in terms of how advanced his position is. Dwayne Holmes off to the right, and Louis Sibley, who has been the number 10, off to the left. Again, let's reserve judgment, although I can't imagine that being configured any other way, given Holmes's right-footedness and Rooney's lack of mobility is older age. Chris Martin up top there. Not really much other option with Waghorn suspended. Let's have a look at the benches. West Brom first. Furlong, Robson, Carnu, Kravinovic, Phillips. There's quality there isn't there? Always look at game changes and just going down there. Callum Robinson can come in the 3 off the front. So can Raheem Harper, or deeper in midfield. So can Matt Phillips, and so can Filip Kravinovic. So if they're looking for a goal, there's a lot of options. Not much in terms of striking. No Kenza Hoare there. So it would only be Robson Kanu that could, push up top there. In terms of Derby, Josephson, Roos, low on the bench, in fact. Curtis Davis, Jason Knight, Buchanan, Whittaker, Brown. You would say West Brom certainly have it on the bench if it's 0-0 with 70 minutes gone. Not much in the way of game changers. Looks like Derby have the strong 11 out, and then maybe not too much in reserve there. Right, let's read your comments. So Jay says, remember the last season when it was West Brom 1, Derby 4? That was an insane one. Remember, though, Darren Moore is not Slaven Bilic, is all I'll say on that one. A West Brom win tonight, and if Leeds fail to beat Stoke, the pressure is on. That's in terms of the championship race, but a West Brom win tonight closes up the automatic race, doesn't it? Evening to Mally, evening to Russ, evening to Chris, and hit to the game. Mally says, Derby to spoil the Baggies party. He's gone for a 2-1. Here he is. Here I am, indeed. Evening to Anir. Jay says, Borough visiting Millwall has been very dull. Who would have thought Rowett versus Warnock? What are my predictions for City versus Hull? Is that one tonight? I think you might get one of those weird players bounce back from manager being fired. So all the best, Derby, from a Villa fan. Ross says 3-1 Baggies. Evening to Gin. Evening to Lee as well. A few predictions for Derby wins here. Happy with the West Brom lineup, says Mark, refusing to give a prediction. Mark, give me your thoughts on the back four for West Brom. Borough are winning. Is this true, Russ? Let me just bring in for goal up. I'm sure I'll get another load of comments if they are. Oh, Warnock. There it is there. Millwall 0, Borough 1, a somber longer 68. Have I been waffling for 10 minutes? So, big goal if you're a Luton and a Barnsley or a Wigan fan there. You did not want that one to go in. Big goal if you're a Hull fan as well. Trevor says a Derby win. Mike is going for West Brom 3-1. Charles, up the Baggies, please. He's a Forest fan. What is my opinion on Yeast? I don't think I'll answer that one. Brentford are one of the most fun teams to watch since the restart, says Lee. Yes, they are. Cue all the next season in the Championship comments. In what respect? Hit to the game. Oh, from a Villa point of view. Is that right? Yeah, Jay's smartening us up there. Need Derby to get something for us Leeds fans. For the neutrals as well. I've got nothing against West Brom. Do admire Slaven Bilic. I love Dejan Garner and Pereira, obviously. But if we want a race here, us neutrals, between Brentford and Fulham and West Brom and maybe Leeds, then a Derby win does push the narrative. Just as you said, the game was dull. Borough scored. You can join those two comments together. Andrew says, did I hear knockout was made permanent? Yes, Trevor, one of our subscribers, tweeted me about it with an extra year if Fulham won. Sorry, 2023 with an extra year. I suspect that was all sorted out before the loan deal and pre-COVID, obligation to buy, all of that sort of stuff, or first refusal or whatever. Interesting that they've gone through with it. Knockout hasn't necessarily delivered for Fulham, but hey, maybe that will settle him some more. Leeds should not be relying on favours. We need to win our game. Just you do. The Ipswich ticket refund was good compared to other teams. Yes, indeed, Nick, it was. I think, I haven't decided yet, I'll take the option to have the money prorated off my next season's tickets. So, no, it's not, Ben. It's 1-0 Borough. I think that's what we said, didn't I? Did I get it the wrong way around? Borough 1, Millwall 0. There we go. Sorry, Voyou says, need Derby to win 10-0. He says, Charlton are a bad side for Brentford. They play park the bus, tight defence, hard when you only have a lone striker. Indeed. 1-0 Borough. Yes, let's do my marketing. Smash that like button, folks. Chris Well, he obviously wants a derby win, doesn't he? That will help. What time's kickoff? Says Alistair. 5 p.m. We'll all be there. Remember, Millwall and Borough kicked off at 3. Ha! He thinks Ben needs a drink, clearing his throat. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Hey, we can't start drinking before then, can we? West Brom 1, Derby 2, says Tony. Hey, Ben, hope you're good. Is West Brom v Derby on Sky this evening? I don't want to get done for anything copyrighty, but there's your Sky coverage of West Brom versus Derby. Paid Rooney £10 to score a hat-trick. There we go. He's a bit more advanced. He's in that number 10 position. Nat says West Brom 2-1. Andrew's going crazy for a 3-4. Hey, both progressive sides, aren't we? 1-1 draw. I would be happy with a draw, says Adam and Eve. Come on, Derby. All the Leeds fans want Derby to win, don't they? We've got some info from Mark. Gibbs, strain. Higazi, red card. Did Higazi get red carded or did someone else get red carded? Okay, so they're not available. It is a weakened back four in that instance. Let's have another look at that table up the top there. 3 points gap for West Brom. Even a draw, I guess, keeps the wolf from the door in Brentford, but really they want to put the win on, put the pressure on Leeds indeed as well. And I do take the Leeds fan who said in the comment a win for West Brom and a defeat for Leeds, and it does start to look tight. Remember, if the top two keep on winning, all will be well. Rooney best win it for the Rams, says Seb. Kayed says something in Arabic that I can't read. It pains me to shout for both Rooney and Derby, but needs must. Everybody's on Rooney in this game. Remember, dangerous players, Holmes, Martin at this level can do the business. Just seeing Matt Pereira warming up, 15 assists, 8 goals, most assists by a championship player for 5 years, it says. MFC Steve watching the Millwall Borough game. The standard of refereeing has reached a new low. Interesting. Charlie, the happy Reading fan, after their 5-0 win, and Maite scoring 4 goals at the weekend. 2-2, he says. Hamer was Brentford's old keeper in the lower leagues. Could do us a favour. Jay says, remember last season when it was 4-1? I do. That was mad, wasn't it? I think there was some weird results last year. It was Leeds, West Brom and Derby, where there was a couple of 4-1s and they all sort of rotated, didn't they? And all beat each other for the first half of the season for sure, didn't they? Let me try and remember this. Leeds won 4-1 at Derby, didn't they? Then Derby won 4-1 at West Brom. And then didn't Leeds beat West Brom 4-0? Isn't that right? When Hernandez scored after 20 seconds or whatever it was. West Brom 2, Derby 1, says Nat. Chris says, hit that likes button, peeps. Of course. Person 1, 1-0 Rooney, hopefully. Big goal if you're a Cardiff or Derby fan too. Talking about the Borough goal by Assombalonga. Remember, Millwall do have that easier running, certainly than Derby. Derby have the mother of all run-ins. Mark, the West Brom fan. Back four has been standard pre-lockdown. Interesting. Gibbs injury and Higazi red card, so suspended. However, that has been a standard for a fair bit of the season. Interesting. You would just think, Mark, that Higazi would maybe be ahead of Bartley. Although, I mean, Ajayi's been great, hasn't he? And you'd think that Furlong would be ahead of who's playing right back? Is it O'Shea? And you would think Townsend would be behind Gibbs. But I will bow to your superior knowledge on that. Obligation to buy, says Peaky on Knockout. Maddie says, not happy that we paid 16 million for Costa. My goodness me. There we go. Albion 0, Derby 2. Pressure will always find an outlet, says Moore. I kept saying 0-0 at that time. Yeah, I hadn't looked at the comments then, Russ, had I? Mikey, how happy will a 1-0 win down in London make our good friend Neil Warner? I think that'll make him extremely happy. He doesn't need an excuse to be more smugger. But he will be. Let's see if he can pull off Colin, the 1-0 win. Rooney hat-trick incoming, says Ewan. Get your money on that. You get a good price. West Brom 1, Derby 2. Is this more hope than expectation, all these predictions for a Derby win here? Yeah, you take a draw. Higazi is suspended from the whole game. Excuse me. I did not remember, but he got red carded. Lee says, any West Brom fans want to share how Callum Robinson is doing as a blade? I rate him highly. It just doesn't fit into our system. Mark is in the chat, can probably help you out with that one. I saw Callum Robinson. I saw Millwall versus West Brom in the FA Cup. He's just any number. I think Bilic just wanted match winners, didn't he, in January? And so Krissy and Robinson arrived just to add on to Phillips, Pereira and Dean Garner. God, when you list off all of that lot, they really should be in the top 2, shouldn't they? Alistair, Benny, you going to react to your predictions at the start of the season? Of course, Alistair, of course. And I'm not afraid to make a buffoon of myself. Although, speaking of smug people like Neil Warnock, when you watch it back and don't look until the end of the season, there's a few I've got right. That's all I'll say there. Is Rooney guaranteed a coaching role going forward? I think that is the case. He already sits in on the meetings, but from a silent position. Mark says Dean Garner and Pereira will switch a lot and cause chaos. Livermore has the potential to have Rooney in his pocket. Yeah, I wonder if Livermore will look after Rooney, so to speak. Must have been in an England squad together at some point. To be where we are is a bonus. To get in top 6 would be an achievement, says Big Al. I'm assuming he's talking from a Derby point of view. Mark says Leeds, Derby. They've made up at last. Reading linked with Ronan Curtis from Portsmouth. Certainly had a good playoff double game, didn't he? Get your thoughts in on Curtis. Help Charlie out with that one. Hoping for a Derby win to shake stuff up. Yeah, he's got my my thoughts on it. West Brom haven't beaten Derby in 10 years. Is that true, Ewan? Wow, good stat. Reading last night was so boring. Did Reading play last night? Oh, it was Reading Huddersfield. God, yeah. Huddersfield really packing it in, aren't they? Oh, yes. It wouldn't be a stream if no one called me Jesus, would it? And yes, the appearance comparisons are getting less and less predictable as we go. 16 seconds in that goal for Pablo. Great goal, that, wasn't it? 2-1 West Brom, please, says Anir. He is a Bristol City fan, so probably doesn't have a dog in the fight. No offence at the moment. There was a little hissy fit during the start of the season with Higazi. Had to have surgery. Oh, interesting. What? So he's had to work his way back into favour, has he? Oh, hello, Colin. Hello. 0-2 for Borough. Give me the goal scorer, guys. Come on. Give me the goal scorer. Whoever doubted Neil? Well, I can see it. Here's Ashley Fletcher coming forward, squares it to a Sombalonga. Nice finish, actually. Mugged Bialkowski off nicely there. Nice overload counter-attack. I've only just seen the first goal, though. The second goal, Ashley Fletcher from the spot. That's game over. That's 87. Well played, Warnock. Alpha Trainer says 2-1 Bristol City against Hull. Saw both teams, says Baggy's fan. Think we'll have too much for Derby. Let's go with a 3-1 win. He loves it at the Albion, room for him to be signed. Is that Callum Robinson we're talking about now? Voyou, the Brentford fan, says, honestly think West Brom would win. They looked good against us both times. Derby are a top side, so we give them a 30% chance, which is decent. Remember, Infogol and Betfair both with a 20% chance. Reading was poor, says Charlie from last night, but clean sheet, closer to safety. Not West Brom and Derby related, but Fulham signed Knockout on a 3-year deal. Maybe the more games he plays, the better he will get. P.S. Hate our inverted wingers. Yeah. Well, we're likely going to see West Brom at some points go with inverted wingers tonight, so it can work. As Ian Holloway says, for a winger to score a goal, they need to get inside that fullback, and that's always the idea with the inverted wingers. Alistair says, we are safe. Yeah, Reading. Nicely safe, aren't they? They're just showing the penalty shootout defeat from West Brom. I was at that playoff semi-final, as I am at all of them, but won't be this season, sadly. There we go. If they haven't beaten Derby in 10 years, they're bound to win tonight, aren't they? On Fulham's wingers, Andrew says, inverted wingers would be great if Scott allowed our fullbacks to overlap. Very, very good point. Inverted wingers need help, don't they, down the outside, so they don't have to touch the touchline. Huddersfield stat: the last time Town kept 3 consecutive clean sheets was 2001 in the Championship. The Cowleys are definitely getting the basics right. Okay, we're closing in on kickoff here, about 5 minutes away. I haven't given my prediction yet. I don't see Derby winning, but because I'm a massive narrative freak here and I want this to go the distance, I would like West Brom to maybe draw this and eke out the title race for me a bit longer. So let's go for a scoring draw from my point of view. 4-0 Swansea, says Noel. Noel's been an unhappy Birmingham fan for weeks. If you want to get in touch with Noel and maybe console him, try and do so. 10% margin on the bookies if you give them 30% chance of winning. Might be worth a bet. There you go. Sheffield United have reportedly made a bid for Swift for 3.5 million. Yeah, still coming down into the Championship. Chris Wilder there. Mark says Robinson loves it here. Tried to sign him, but went to the Blades for Premier League football. Openly admitted it, as well as saying that he prefers first team football. Okay, interesting. Can see nothing but a Baggies win, says Super Leeds. I'm more than likely to bet on West Brom, so can't be disappointed no matter the outcome. Classic. There we go. Baggies 2-0, Oliver. If it's to win League One next season, Ben, wouldn't that be nice? Hey, come on, West Brom, says Owen, the Forest fan. And a 2-2 there from Colm. Right, let's wrap up this stream now. Come back and join us at half-time. Hopefully there'll be loads and loads of great stuff to talk about. We won't have to talk about the handball laws like we did yesterday in the Fulham Forest game. But if we have to, we will. And everybody's opinion they're entitled to on such matters. As it says there, you can support the channel right now if you want. Next to that little bit where you type your comments, there's a little $ where you can donate via Super Chat. I'm kind of on gardening leave until next Thursday now when I go in for my last day. But basically, I'm unemployed after that. And I would love to make this channel part of my income. I do need your help. I know you already help with all the knowledge you give in the chats, but any support would be greatly, greatly appreciated. Palace want Flynn Downs. Why would they want him, Nick? Terrible player. No one would want to sign him, surely. It's tipping it down. Wet surface. Yes, just seeing Derby come out in the very fetching third choice shirt. See you in 50, Russ. Nice one. See you half time. Charlie, nice one. Looking forward to it. 2-1. Oh. Has Colin got the points yet? See you at half time, Alistair, hopefully. Thumbs up before you leave. Yes, thanks, Noel. And also give the video a like, lads and ladettes. See you at halftime, hopefully, Gin too. Right, Rooney's out, Shinny's out, Martin's out. It is hammering it down. All these players, they do their hair before the game. Chris Martin's got a lovely little quiff thing going on. Ain't going to last in that weather, is it? Right, Derby visiting West Brom. Top of the table stuff still. 7th versus 2nd. God, Matt Clark's a bit unfortunate in the hair department, isn't he? I shouldn't judge people on the hair. I always tell people off when they do it to me. But yeah, definite comb over happening there for poor old Matt Clark. We've done our predictions. We'll have some actual facts to talk about after the first half. So I will see you, like Russ said, about 50 minutes, so about 5:50 once the stoppage time is done. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the support. See you. Oh, sorry, we had fake news, 2-0, and it's ended 2-0 Borough. Thank you for the corrections. Nothing gets past you lot. Thanks for watching. See you at half time. Over and out.